And we're live. All right. Welcome to Taiwan. Good evening, everyone. MJ here. And we're at the infamous Jarjar Store, where they are about to start. They're going to close the doors here. Hi, everyone. All right. Let me turn this off. And what I want to do is I actually want to, yeah. I don't really need to do this, but I'm going to switch my account. So if I go ahead and make a comment, it'll be with the correct. Yeah. All right, so we're live. We are at Jarjar. And of course, you know, what always happens is as soon as I prepare and get ready to go live, somebody sits down next to me or across from me. And often at this time of night, and just in this neighborhood, let's just say some of these people don't have a whole lot going on. Don't have a whole lot going for them. So anyway, looks like we have probably about a 10-second lag or so. It's hard to tell, but all right, we are on the DJI Pocket 3, and I'm using a new rig that I set up. I'm going to lower this down a little bit. We're using a new rig that I set up where I have my mobile right next to my right next to the Pocket 3, so I can see your comments without having to, you know, look down on my phone or look around, and it's very close. So it's not like a teleprompter where it's like right underneath. So if you look where my eyes are now, that's where the comments are, so right there. So it's right next to the phone. What I should do is I should take a couple of photos with my regular camera and post those on the community so that people can see what I'm using. All right, so that guy just took off. I don't know, he plopped down. He like sat down like an elephant, man. It was like, boom, you know, and looked like he was maybe having a hard day. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen the head on this so I can spin the tripod around, because I do kind of want to put it like right here. I think it looks better. A little bit further away. And it is also easier for me to see the comments, because when they're really close, then I have to use the lower part of my glasses, you know, the reading part. So this way I can just go like that. I can see it pretty clear, so we're good to go. And I have the DJI Mic 2 set on noise reduction. Now tonight, I'm drinking some coconut water, and it tastes really good, but I also have this from Vietnam. This is coconut wine, and it's 29%. I'm not sure if it's distilled or not. That's pretty high for a wine. It doesn't say it's liquor, but it has definitely a coconut flavor. It's kind of sweet. I'd like to try it with a little bit of the Sri Lankan cinnamon mixed in, but it's not bad. So I want to thank everyone in this past couple of weeks that have subscribed to my channel. You know, I never asked for subscriptions. I never asked for likes or anything like that. I don't do what I do, you know, for that. But I appreciate it when someone finds my strange content, you know, compelling enough to want to subscribe. And I think in part it was because of the earthquake coverage that I did. And of course, I showed original video clips that I had procured largely from Jevons, but from some other people that sent these things directly to me. And because some news organization in Taipei showed them, and they got them from, you know, their friends too, suddenly I'm violating their copyright. I'm just so sick of this, man. I am so damn sick of these copyright violations. And the fact that you know, you put a 30-second clip of something that somebody else claims, and you know what? They don't even have to prove it. You have to disprove it. But they can monetize your entire video. Whatever happened to the normal rules of publishing? Because like if I get my guitar out and I play a song that somebody else wrote and they get the money, where's my artist fee? Where's the fee to pay me? I just did a cover of your tune. I did you a favor. You know, you don't own me. Somebody has to go to court. And the problem is, it may not hold for the rest of the world, but at least YouTube is a US company. Somebody needs to take YouTube to court in the United States and just balance all this out. Dave Fistpump, good to see you. Good evening. Wonder how much of a lag there is. This works great. I can see your comments like right here without even turning or looking down at my phone. This is great. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm on another one of my copyright diatribes because, you know, when I did the earthquake show and I used Prism Live Studio to show these clips, most clips came from Jevons, but you know, all the clips came from people that I knew. I mean, they were given to me by people that I know, and they came from all over the island. They are originals, right? So what happened was some station, you know, like in Taipei or something, broadcast some of those clips, and so all of a sudden I'm a copyright violator, you know? And I could write a letter, I could get on my high horse, you know, I don't care. It just irritates me, you know, because it's so petty and stupid. Because where do they get them? Did they send somebody, those clips that I showed, none of them were from professional news reporters, correspondents in the field. There's people like you and me that got their phone out and saw something happen that scared them, and they filmed it, and they photographed it, and they shared it. And that's how these news organizations got it. So what do? They put it on the air. Because they put it on the air, it's automatically copyright. Well, what about my copyright? I put it on the air too. You know what I should do? I should go back and I should find out if I aired mine before them, and if they aired theirs after mine, I should make a copyright claim against them. What do you guys think about that? And another one that gets me is the incidental music. This really needs to be stopped. I can't control what people do in the environment. If I'm walking down the street and I'm live streaming and somebody's playing a song in the background, why do I get a copyright strike? I didn't play it. It's incidental music. You heard me mention this before. I'm tired of mentioning it, but anyway, my health's been improving. My heart palpitations have been remarkably few in between, which has been very good. But it's hot. I'm sweating. It's like 26 degrees here in the evening. It's just after 10 p.m. local time, and the humidity is about 80% or more. It's high. I just noticed, I don't like to put it this way, but I have seen a couple of other white men in the neighborhood. And this is not a neighborhood that's populated with white men. There's only two guys, me, and then there's Renee from Switzerland. And so last Thursday we had a barbecue here. I didn't really feel like live streaming it, but there was a white guy walking across the street, and he looked like he was in a big hurry. So my friend Dave said, "Hey, come on, join the party." He's like, "No, man." He was like frantically looking for something. And I just saw another white guy walking with looked like a Filipino lady. So, but our friend Bill is coming back from New Zealand. He's going to be coming to Taiwan. There you go. Lights are off, and it shows you the remarkably good low light performance of the Pocket 3. I don't have it set on low light. I got it set on normal. So Bill's coming back, and he's always he's a really nice gentleman. Good to hang out with. One of those guys who's significantly older than you would ever guess. Good shape, good spirits, you know, amazing. So it's going to be really a pleasure to hang out with him. We'll we'll get the guitars, we'll go to the side of the highway, and we'll do some barbecue. Now, speaking of which, right, the place that I like to do my barbecue in the Thai stores, right? You guys have seen me post pictures, and I did some 360 stuff there, and then I posted more about this in my personal line group, excuse me, than I have in my community tab, you know, on the Real Taiwan. But here's the thing. It's all Thai guys. And oh, by the way, this weekend is Songkran, and it's kind of a pain in the neck because they want to keep throwing water on me. They keep wanting to put powder on me. I'll explain that in a minute. But Dave knows all about that. Because it's the 13th, it's Songkran. It doesn't matter what day of the week it falls on. If it's April 13th, it's Songkran, which is their Thai New Year. And the Thai New Year is very important for them. And so they always take time off. So that was yesterday. Today's the 14th, but they're still, so that was a Saturday. So Sunday's the weekend, they're still partying. They had a bunch of free stuff down there. People were partying and drinking. It was actually pretty cool, you know, not bad at all. So here's what happened. The Thai place, we would go there and they sell charcoal. They even sell grills. They sell all kinds of frozen meat and, you know, tons of beer and drinks and stuff. So here we are, we're just sitting there and we'll buy charcoal and we'll go put the charcoal in the grill out on the front, right? And we light it and we go inside and we buy stuff and we grill it. And I've been doing that for, I don't know, over a year anyway, maybe longer than that. And I know all the Thai guys, and you know, they take care of me. I'll go buy some meat or something, you know. I buy stuff for me and enough for other people to share, you know, so everybody shares. There's always an abundance, right? That's how you do it. You buy what you want and, you know, 10% more. And so, but I'll go in there and I'll buy a case of beer or something and they go nuts. But it's because they take care of me. See, I'll go there and I'll start to get out the knife and I'll cut and they'll just take the knife. They'll very gently put their hand in my hand and take the knife from me and they'll just tell me go sit down and drink. And they take care of me. It's great. It's like I'm grandpa or something, you know. So they do the grilling. And then they'll put Thai spices on it, or they get like the pepper salt or wasabi salt, something really good. So you guys have seen it. And on my channel, I have a couple of shorts where it shows them like cutting, you know, some of this, what we call fei rou, which is fatty meat. They cut some of it, you know, in this crispy, and oh, it's actually really good. If you haven't seen that, check out my shorts tab. And you notice I didn't say check out my shorts. Check out my shorts tab and scroll down and you'll see, you know, like some of those from the barbecue. What they did was they put a guy out front with a gas grill. Now these big gas grills are huge, like a big stainless steel box, and they have a burner on the top and a burner on the bottom, and they're fed by bottled gas, right? So they got a big bottle of gas out there in this guy, and beside it he's got a little glass case with shells, and he's got all this stuff in there that he's grilled, like chicken wings and pork ear and pork belly and pork tongue and all the stuff that we were doing. He's got it for sale, and the big grill is gone. So I went over there. I'm like, well, this is no fun. And the Thai guys are watching Muay Thai boxing, but nobody was grilling, and they were just sitting there because they weren't buying the stuff. Because it's no fun. Grilling is fun. You know, handling the grill, feeling the warmth of the fire, and, you know, tending it, and, you know, cooking stuff and watching out for flare-ups. It's a whole thing. You know, I joke about this with my Taiwan friends. In Taiwan culture, people gather around the karaoke machine in the living room, but, you know, in the West, we gather around the barbecue outside. And I mean, I used to spend, gosh, I had a wood smoker, you know, and I would spend 10 hours a day out there with my pals. We'd be drinking, playing guitar, showing movies or something, whatever, you know. It was great. But here's the thing. That was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I haven't been back there since. Hadn't bought anything, hadn't done anything. So I went there tonight to buy this. It's EPI, or it's 120 NT. It's like, see, $4. $4. Amazing. And I noticed the grill guy's gone. The grill's gone, the tank's gone, the table, the glass case. Now I didn't see the big grill they had, because the big grill they had was sheet metal, square, but it was really tall. And the surface on the top was quite a distance away from the fire, which made it nice because things didn't burn. You know, they slow cooked. It was nice. And I don't know if you guys have ever had like pork ear, you know. The pork tongue is okay. I'm not particularly fond of the texture. It's a little tough, but pork ear is fantastic, especially if it has a smoke flavor. It's got a little ribbon of cartilage. It's actually good for you. It's a good building material, you know, to keep those fingers, you know, nimble so you can play guitar, right, without arthritis. Huh. But here's the thing. We got you know, that guy's gone, but I didn't see the big grill anymore, so it was getting kind of rusty. So I may just go down there someday. And they sell interesting grills. I have a picture of that on, well, I did some grilling in my backyard. They sell round grills, which are particularly suited for things like putting a wok on it, you know, or a pot. But you can put a square grate on it too because of the way the ears are built. I'm gonna have to put a shot of it on my community so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I may just, and there's other kinds of grills all over the place. You can find, they're all cast aluminum. They got cast iron insets to hold the you know, the charcoal. And here's the thing, let me take a side note. I have been designing this kind of stuff for years and years. And I even know a Taiwanese billionaire. He asked me to come to his office, and I used the whiteboard or the dry erase board, if you prefer, for several hours and told him of some of my designs. And he kept saying, yeah, they're not bad, but most of the people I talk to say that my designs are too complicated for them to build, which I think is odd. I think in one case, one guy stole some of my ideas because I did see a grill that I designed about 3 years after in Costco. And it's absolutely the same. And it was too much of a coincidence. The way I had presented it to him, it was identical. So like he copied it from my engineering notebook. Anyway, long story short. So that being said, I do have the resources here with the factories in our, you know, in our consortium for me to make some grills. It's just, I don't sell retail. I don't. You know, I did like this, just past week, I did a shipment. I think it was 8 tons. 8 tons of bronze and copper castings, you know, to a customer in the US, and he sells them retail. It's his stuff. So I'm not gonna, you know, I don't get bothered. I don't bother with selling retail. It's a pain in the neck, and I don't want to be like spending my time packing stuff up and taking it over to UPS. But if I had a customer, like a big box store for some of my grill designs, I should just do that. I should just, because the molds are cheap. Really, now that I think about it. I should do a prototype run, a couple pieces of one of my designs, and just see if I can get one of the big box stores interested in it. And then I just sit back and push the button. See, I like these push button businesses where I don't actually do anything except this. You guys remember that when I used to sign off? Push the button, okay, and then just go to the bank account and take the money out. But anyway, that was a side rant. So what I was going to say is I think I might just go over there and make a gift at that Thai store of one of the grills that you can buy. There are many stores in the area, hardware stores sell grills. They're usually aluminum, cast aluminum. And you, most of the stores around here, like Jarjar, these kind of convenience stores, they sell like the grates for grilling. And of course, I have a couple of really nice stainless steel ones made out of welded stainless wire, super easy to clean, and they're super rugged. You can just put them in the sink and scrub them with a big you know, wool, steel wool scrubber, one of the real coarse ones. They don't bend or anything, and they come real clean. You don't have to worry about burning them up. But the ones that they sell in Jarjar here are industrial scrap. They're pieces of expanded metal, and they weld them together, but they do something bad. They either paint them or they put like galvanized material on them. So as long as you burn it off, you're okay, which means you got to make your charcoal fire, and the things are like 50 cents, you know, they're cheap. Get 4 or 5 of them because they don't last that long. And you throw those on the grill, and we use lump charcoal here, not, you know, briquettes. You can buy briquettes at Costco, places where they sell American products, but in Asia we use lump charcoal, which actually is superior. And the great part about lump charcoal is that you can add it to the process at any time because it is already pre-burned and there's no chemicals. So all that being said, we use lump charcoal and it burns extremely fast. Excuse me, extremely hot, not fast, extremely hot. And that's great because you want to burn the chemical off. That's what you want to do. You want to burn the chemicals off with it, you know, on those grates. So that's what we're doing. When we buy these things, we run some of that really hot charcoal and burn the galvanized or the silver paint or whatever it is off. So I just may make a gift of one of the local grills to that store down there, so we can go back to doing our weekend grill parties. And I'm going to tell you, it's not a bad way to eat. It's fairly healthy because, you know, we're eating meat, but you can argue all you want about that, but there are products and meats you can't get anywhere else unless you supplement. And we have the opportunity to cook vegetables on there, but what I usually do is I'll go to a restaurant and get some vegetables. I get like a leafy green kind of stuff. But the grill, it's not that hot, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And then it's not deep fried. And in addition to that, the meat is not adulterated. It's pure meat. I mean, they haven't, you know, done a bunch of additives to it. No preservatives. We even have a fresh market down here. So if I wanted to go get like a big hunk of pork meat or a bunch of sausages, I mean, the animal was killed in the morning. You know, we're eating it in the evening. So that's really good. And lump charcoal is unadulterated. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but in Thailand, and by the way, most of the lump charcoal that I've seen in Taiwan comes from Indonesia. We don't make charcoal in Taiwan because we don't have the forest resources anymore. The forests have all been, in the lowlands, they've been decimated. I mean, there's a lot of nice trees around here, but there's no forest. You can't use these trees, there aren't enough. They're here for decorative and for, you know, purposes of balance, you know, ecological balance. But the forests are all in the mountains and they don't allow them to be cut anymore except under certain conditions. So other countries, like when I was in Japan years ago in 2004, I was in the Osaka area and Kyoto area. They're closely, you know, they're not too far away. And my friend took me on a tour of the mountains, and I saw several lumber forests that were very, very well planned out. It was nice. The trees were really young. They cut them, I think, every 30 years. So when I was there, they might be ready to cut about now because they were about 10 years old. You can tell by the size of them. The whole forest, the trees are all the same size. And that's what you do. We don't do that here, but other countries have this, have these forests set up. And so in Thailand, you know, they still have quite although I was concerned because I asked my lawyer, we were driving through some places in the northeast, place called Isan, and it looked like Richmond, Virginia. And I was like, where'd the trees go? And he said, that's a big controversy in Thailand because the trees disappeared and nobody knows where they went. But They think the politicians just had them cut and sold, but they didn't cut everything. But vast areas are clear cut, which is kind of weird. But they do have enough forests, and the villages manage the forests in their area, and they're really good at it. People are so connected, to the land. They really take care of it. So I've been in several villages that had an area I'm streaming here, where they made charcoal. And it's a mound. They do like a stack. They lay the sticks down, okay? The logs are not too big. They always use smaller cuts, or they'll take a log and split it. Coco, good evening. Good to see you. How are you? Coco, I left a message. I don't know, maybe it's inappropriate, but on your channel, you only have one video, unfortunately. You know which video I'm referring to, and I didn't mean any disrespect, but I left you a message on it saying how you could contact me. So I'm sorry about that. Ken Rod, good to see you, fist bump. Yeah, I was very sorry to see that video, by the way. My condolences. It's been a while. I apologize, but yeah. I just want to let you know I left a message, and I was reluctant because of the nature of the the video. And I said, nah, she knows who I am. It's not like I'm going to spam her or something or whatever. So I just left a message. So there you go. So good to see you. Welcome. Thank you. So what they do is they take like a log, and they'll split it. And it's basically long pieces, and they cover it with a mound of dirt. Didn't see it? Okay. All right. Maybe it got flagged. I don't know. So let me just tell you this. I don't mind saying this. You know my name, the name that I go by. It's the name on this live stream. No spaces at Gmail. Okay, that's how you contact me. That's probably the best way, because emails come and go. I'm still using Late Night, but I took the TaiwanLive.tv domain down. I still own it, but I'll do something with it in the future. There actually is a television station in Taiwan called Taiwan Live. And if they were smart, they'd buy that domain from me, but they don't want to. That's why I'm not using Taiwan Live TV on Facebook. That's one of the reasons I got motivated to go with the Real Taiwan. Partially because my friend Johnny Z isn't in Taiwan anymore, and he's not running the Real Taiwan. Boy, he had a website called the Real Taiwan, and it was hardcore. It was, boy, oh boy. It was scary. Cool. So anyway, they build a mound and they build a fire, and the whole idea is to starve. I don't know who came up with this. This is ancient. I mean, charcoal burning is ancient, right? They mention charcoal, in the Bible about making charcoal and using charcoal, for smelting and things and refining metals. And it's pretty interesting. So it goes back, thousands of years, but somebody realized that, oh yeah, in the new house, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that. And I still have this dream. I might live this dream, but I have a dream of going back to the States in the summer and having a late night party and inviting everybody in the world that can make it to your giant backyard. Because I know you know how to entertain and you know how to throw a party, and it will be elegant and amazing because that's what you are. That's my huge dream. And I know Ken Rod and Rob and Matthew and many others would be there in a heartbeat. Have to twist Dave's arm to get him to go all the way there, but that would be something. But basically, you just starve the wood, and And it's funny, it burns some of the, I'm not sure of the process. You know, I'm going to have to go look at this. I need to do a study project on charcoal just because it's interesting. I mean, it leaves a lot of the structure intact, but charcoal still is a fuel. It's not burned, you know, that to such a great degree. It just removes, obviously, the moisture and some of the material. So it's more of a lighter and transportable material. I guess it's concentrated. Concentrated would be the, I guess, the proper term. So how are you liking your new place, man? It must be awesome. And this is a place that you said that you built. So this is like you designed it, had it built. That's amazing. I never did anything like that. Wow. Holy cow. That's fantastic. All right, so things are better. You know, I've had some of the, that's amazing. That's fantastic. I've had, you know, my bout with the heart palpitations, and finally they're under control. So a lot of people looking at me, looking at them. She looked at me like 3 times, so 3.5 acres. Holy cow. That's pretty good, man. You could put up a horse barn in the back. My goodness. Studio. That's what I would be doing. Honey, I'm going to build a horse barn, but it's got to have 7-meter ceilings. Trees, and more trees, I guess. So yeah, you know, you could be doing charcoal on your land. Yeah, I love that. And that area of the country, and I'm not going to get specific, but it's the Carolinas. Yeah, that's known for the greenery. I mean, you know, the city in North Carolina, Greensboro, and there's Greenville, you know, North Carolina and South Carolina. There's a reason there's so many places named like that. Oh yeah, that's I lived in the Greensboro area for 5 years in my youth, and my sister to this day still lives there. So we're quite familiar with that area. All her kids, you know, live there. So yeah, it's a beautiful place, and there are, people might be surprised, but there are some respectable mountains, you know, in part of the Appalachians, but there's a separate mountain range called the Sourtown Mountains that are not part of the Appalachian. They're kind of they call them the mountains away from the mountains. And Coco, I don't know if you know about this, but this might be something for you and your husband to go check out sometime. Yeah. I know, Ken, the audacity, huh? But thank goodness I've got my noise reduction on. Yeah, horses and cattle. Yeah, I can imagine. Because when I was living there, I was working at a company, and one of the men in the company had a hen house, and his wife would make him, no kidding, every morning he would, because you know we started early, he would show up with his breakfast that his wife made at the plant and eat, and go straight to work. And his wife, one time, I saw it, she made him a 40 egg omelet and wrapped it in aluminum foil. And the thing was like as long as his arm. He's like holding this thing like this trying to eat. It was amazing. But yeah, I got chickens, and you of course get the benefit of that too. But what? Huh? Okay, my friend. Okay. Oh, hello. Amazing. So one of my high school friends, Jeanette. Bye. They had a farm, and they boarded horses for people that own horses, and it was nice. So she actually told me, this is funny, man. I don't know. I've turned down so many things just because it seems like too much. But she actually offered me, somebody had a foal, and she offered me a horse and all I had to do was pay like a small monthly fee to board the horse. But I knew I was going to go on the road, and but I used to love it. But she did her a couple of her the horse tenants, the owners. I knew them. One was another girl that was in school with me, and she had a horse called Poncho. He was pretty fiery. But Jeanette's family owned a horse called Major, and Major was so tall that when I looked at his back, over the top of his back like that. So she invited me to go riding a lot, and we would just go to her house, go to the farm, and she would just say, okay, well, go out back. I got them tied up for you. She already put the saddles on and got them, put the harness on, got it all prepared, the bridle on it, and it was amazing. My friend John Beeler, who's now a fully tenured professor of history at University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa, which he refers to as the rectum of Disney, of Dixie, the rectum of Dixie, quote unquote. He and I went camping on their land, and you got to solve that. You got to you got to use that gimbal. Yeah, if nothing else, right? You can justify because you got to do it for insurance. You got to walk around and say, okay, I got this. This is a serial number. I got this. This is value. So you can film everything in the house using your gimbal. That's how you do it. It's all set up. But John and I would go camping on their land. Their family's name was Marbert, and they're still well known. And her grandma was Fleming, and there's Fleming Road. Everybody knows all those people, though. So excellent. Well, I know you are a gadget person like me, and you had a formidable collection of equipment and gadgets, as I recall, from seeing the live streams that you had done before. Cool. I think it's very cool. And I think it's cool that I can talk to you about this stuff and you know what I'm talking about. And it's just amazing. Excuse me, but we go over and see Miss Marbert, and I asked her, can we go camping on your land? She says, sure. And this is funny because there's a corner of the land where somebody had put up a smoking barn. And I think back some of these experiences that I had. I was 17 years old. We moved to North Carolina, and we went into this little barn. It wasn't very big. It might have been the size of maybe a 2-car garage with a steeped roof, And there was a slow burning fire in the bottom, in the middle of it. I bet you could if you have enough land, and that would be fantastic. And if I was going to go there and visit, that's probably what I would want to do, just to be out in nature. Not that I wouldn't want to be inside a beautiful house, but I'm just saying, hey, when you got land like that, because it's hard in Taiwan to find it, unless you go like where Jevons goes, but then it's like wild and super dangerous. Because the campgrounds here are spoon-fed. They'll build a wooden platform for you to put your tent on. And 20 steps away is the restroom, and there's a shower there. And people are singing karaoke, and every campsite has electricity, and they're watching TV, and it's like, why'd you even come here? So, yeah. But we went camping on, I just got another earthquake report. It was a magnitude 4.1. We've been getting them. You guys, since that Wednesday, Taiwan has had over 900 aftershocks. After the second day, I haven't felt any, or actually been aware of feeling any. Because sometimes, I'll return to this, because sometimes just sitting in your chair, you'll go like this, and you freak yourself out, you psych yourself out. Oh, that was an earthquake. No, it wasn't. You just moved. And boy, I got to tell you, when you've had an earthquake, rattle you really bad, the rest of the day, every time you move, things have an oscillation. You bump the table and it goes like this for a second. You go, oh my God, it's another earthquake. No, it's not. Just stop freaking out. But Marbert family gave us this corner of the property, and we went into this. I know, it's amazing. We went into this building, right? And there were about 50 hams hanging up. They were smoking hams. There's no lock on the door or nothing. We didn't touch anything, but we could have. But we were raised right, and we didn't. You know, we recognize that's somebody's livelihood. But and of course, other thing too is, why would you do that? And then the obviously the person would notice they were missing, would talk to the Marbert family, and the Marbert family would say, "Oh, it must have been the two guys that we let, you know, go camp," and it just wrecks everything. You act like an idiot, you know. But I just thought it was cool. And then what it was is after that, I started looking for those little buildings, and I would just go in there and check them out. You know, nobody ever said anything. I never saw any owners, never touched anything, but I thought it was cool. But John and I were, oh, this is hilarious. I'm going to tell you guys a story. This is hilarious. There's a movie that I want you to look at on YouTube. It is now public domain. I found it on a DVD. I had to order online. Before I ever left the United States to come to Taiwan, I had found it in the States. Probably about, I'm going to say about 2002 maybe. I came to Taiwan in 2004. The name of the release that I saw is called The Sound of Horror. It stars Soledad Miranda and Ingrid Pitt. Ingrid Pitt was famous for her role in some of the big Hammer films. One of those, you know, 60s bombshells. And so was Soledad Miranda. But when I was a kid, I didn't know who they were. So I was at John's house. Now, John is a professor now, but his dad was a professor. So we were in their house in Greensboro, and John and I were going to go camping in his backyard, because it sounds kind of like, you know, your house, Coco. His father, Professor Bueller, used to talk about the lower 40. They had their backyard, you couldn't see the end of it. It just disappeared into the forest, you know, and the forest was far away. So you could have had a rock band on either end and a basketball game in the middle. I mean, it was nuts. So we would just pitch a tent out there, and so John and I were in the house. We decided we want to watch TV, and this movie came on. Scared the heck out of us. The Sound of Horror. I want you to watch it. Now imagine we're like 16, 17 years old, and you can understand. But I'm not going to tell you the premise of the movie, but when we realized the premise of the movie, we're like, oh my God, ah, right? And the monster screams this. I don't know who they hired. They hired somebody that knows how to scream, this hellacious scream, right? We didn't even want to go in the tent. So that bothered us so bad, we said, okay, this is being stupid. Okay, so I think it was either the very next week or the week after. We went to the Marbert family, and the girl that I went to school with was Jeanette. So it's like, yeah, sure, you guys can go, you know, camp on our land. So my dad had given me a 1965 Chevrolet Biscayne to drive, because he had that car, but he's a Honeywell engineer, and he gets a company car. So I drove that Biscayne out there, and we got our, you know, it's an afternoon, we got our camping gear and stuff, and we set up, and it started getting dark. And John said, man, yeah, I can put a link. I should put a link in the description. It's absolutely public domain. It's on, it's just several channels have it. I watch it like every 6 months or a year. I get in kind of a mood, usually like a gloomy Saturday afternoon. I'll get a couple of drinks and I'll sit down and I'll close the blinds and I'll play this movie. It doesn't scare me like it used to, but I like it. It's just, and it's almost a cultural thing for me now, you know, it's a tradition. I'm gonna show that outside because I got a projector. I'm gonna go to the back of my house because the back of my house is very light colored and it's flat, and so it kind of looks like a screen, so I can project it. I'll be projecting that one of these nights. Maybe I should do a reaction video, kind of like mystery, you know, mystery science theater or whatever it was they used to call it. We can, you know, watch me watch a movie and react to it. Do my McCullen, or whatever his name was. So John was with me in the forest, and we're far away from town, far away from lights. We're even far away from the Marbert's house. We were probably a country mile away from their home in the woods. And John was like, "No, man, I can't do it." I said, "All right." So I had my knife with me and stuff. But John says, "Oh, I'll just come back tomorrow, man. I'll pick up my stuff." I said, "All right." So he split and he left me there. And then so it's like, the thing of it is, when you're camping like that in the forest, there's not a whole lot to do, and you sort of fall into the circadian rhythms. Like when the sun goes down, then you sort of getting tired, right? And then you want to go to sleep. So, like 8 o'clock at night, I was in the tent, sacked out. I was done. And all of a sudden, about 11, the tent lights up. Some car headlights illuminated the tent, and it woke me up. And I got my knife, and I'm holding the sheath, and and the handle. And it's obvious that there's a car coming. And all I can say is I saw deliverance. So I hear the car door slam. And all of a sudden, John pokes his head in the tent. He goes, "Man, I can't leave you out here all night." He says, "If you can stay out here all night, I can." I was like, "Okay, man." Come back in. We talked about the movie and how it scared the crap out of us. And we're a bunch of silly idiots being so scared about something that's just so implausible and ridiculous. But that's a couple 17-year-old guys for you, like that. So that was funny. But the cool part about it was, at 6 o'clock in the morning, we heard a little commotion outside, and we unzipped the tent and stepped out, and there was Jeanette, our high school friend, and she tied up 2 saddled horses to the tree next to the tent and said, "You guys have fun." Wow, are you kidding me? We rode those horses for the rest of the day. And we're in the country, and we never crossed a paved road. We're all on footpaths and cow paths and pastures and some of those rolling hills that they have in that part of North Carolina. It was amazing. I had a couple of experiences like that when I was a kid. When I was a young man, that was just amazing. I really treasured that experience because it gives me things to look at later in life, and it also helps me to relate to other people's lives, and I just think those things are good. And I think, one of the things that I say to the Taiwanese, because it's funny, there's 2 things I talk about with American culture. Notice I'm going like this and not like that because I'm used to going 1, 2. There's 2 things, and I say this for 3. All American men can ride, shoot, and cook. And that's what I tell Taiwanese. I know I'm bad, I shouldn't do that. That's really stereotypical. So I have Taiwan parents, because my daughter's getting older, and she's going through puberty. She's becoming a young woman. She's becoming attractive, and of course she's starting to get noticed, even though she's 11 years old. She's taller than her mom now. So Taiwan parents ask me questions, about possible boyfriends. They want to know, how would I handle it? And so I tell them, people think that America, doesn't really have culture. There's no real culture in America, but there is. And they're like, "Go on." I said, "Well, we have a traditional way that the father meets the first boyfriend." And they're like, "Oh, come on, we want to hear this. Tell us. I said, "Well, the daughter explains to the father that she has a boyfriend and she would like to bring him home to meet the father, because the father and the mother have trained the daughter not to have secret relationships. But if she's interested in a boy, she wants to date him, she has to bring him home. And other fathers are going, yeah, that's good, because we want to know. I said, yeah, okay. So you train them up you train the daughters up like that, from when they're really young. You just tell them, I'm not going to freak out, but I got to know. So she brings the man home, and this is the traditional part. And this is why I'm going to have problems in Taiwan, because it's traditional for the father to be cleaning his guns while he meets the potential first boyfriend. First of all, the boyfriend has to be standing, and he has to come over to the father and address him as sir and offer his hand and shake hands. If he doesn't say sir and he doesn't shake his hands, it's already over. Then the father asks him to sit down, and while they're talking, he's asking questions like, so how long you know my daughter? And he's got his little brush, barrel brush, and he's cleaning it, maybe, checking for cleanness, looking at the kid, so, okay, so how old are you? And, okay, so you're 17, okay, do you have a job? Are you working now? And, so, tell you what, I got a clip here, it's loaded with a bunch of 9mm, can you unload those for me? And then the father gets to observe how he handles ammunition. Does he know what he's doing? Has his father taught him? So, I mean, it's totally ridiculous, right? But it's funny because the Taiwan fathers they're like, this is interesting. Oh yeah, I can see the value, and it's hilarious. I have fun with them, but I know that makes me a bad person, right? Because 我真的喜欢开玩笑太多了. I honestly love humor too much. So, oh yeah, exactly. While holding the gun, yeah. And then when it's all done, the guns are apart. He says, okay, I want you to put this 9mm back together for me like this, and he gets a stopwatch and 22 seconds, not bad. So anyway, I'm joking. But the thing is, right, it kind of is like that in some cases. I remember as a young man being rung through the ringer, I went over to, of course I had long hair and stuff. A lot of the parents thought that was weird. But I went to one lady's house. This is funny. There was a girl that sat behind me. And she was actually quite beautiful, a blonde girl, sat right behind me in class. And she always had this really irritated look on her face when she looked at me. And it would be like, sometimes I would, my elbow with something would bump her. Her desk is right, how it is in school in those days. She'd have a book or something, and my elbow would bump it, and she would be all this. But I never, acted mean or nasty to her at all, and I was widely known in the school as a musician and a sort of a calm sort of person and not a drug user. I was known for not being a drug user. And it turned out that she actually finally started really liking me. And I still, of course, remember her name. That's, we have many regrets in life. A couple of months later, I moved away, and she gave me her address. I never wrote to her because I was never going to see her again, and I turned down so many opportunities to stay in touch with people because I moved every 2 years. It was like that when I was on the road. That's why I was comfortable on the road. I didn't have a house. I lived in a bus. I lived in a tour bus for 2 years, and we recorded. We recorded for 4 months in Boston and lived in the bus and lived physically in the studio. I remember sleeping under the stairs in the studio, but that's what you do when you're in your 20s and you don't care. But this is a very beautiful girl. All I'll tell you was her first name was Janelle. And I went to see her parents, and I, of course, I had long hair, but all the men did it in that age, right, in the 70s. But my father taught me to be respectful, and I shook his hand, I'm not going to say his last name, Mr. So-and-so, And first question he asked me was, he said, how much does the Bible say that we should give to God? At 17 years old, I already knew that the Mosaic law had been fulfilled. And we were under the Christian era. This guy was apparently a fundamentalist and held on to some of the Mosaic law. And I said, well, I'm not sure. And she said, 10%. We should tithe. And so I said, okay, it's 10%. And he's like, okay, very good. I was like, it's like taking a test in Asia. Just give the answer. Doesn't matter if you know what it is. But yeah, really nice girl. Met her parents. But this is funny. I had another. This is bad. You guys are gonna kill me. There's another really cute girl. Her name was Renee, and she was Jewish. Now you guys know my excuse me. So now you guys know my last name. It's a Jewish last name, but I personally am not Jewish. My family came from Germany, but who knows? I mean, could be. We could be related to German Jews somewhere, or even American Jews. I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm just saying, my personal family was not. I was raised in a religiously divided household. My father was Protestant, my mother was Catholic. But everybody thought I was Jewish. I can't tell you how many times I met somebody. Like I met a really cool guy named Wolf, who was a guitar tech. And I introduced myself, and as soon as I said Klein, he shook my hand. And while, I never saw this before, while my hand was in his hand, he managed to snap his fingers and he went, Jew boy, like that to me, which is something that I never heard and have never said to anybody. And I said, sorry, Wolf, I'm actually not. I'm German. He's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. Except, I don't know. You can say what you want to say, but he was cool with it. So there was another guy in my class that really liked Renee, but her parents didn't like him. So I went over and met the parents. And she introduced me and emphasized my last name, Klein. I was like, okay. Didn't ask me about, what temple did I attend. Didn't ask me any questions at all, except, like where did I live and how long I've been in Greensboro and all that kind of stuff, and just general questions. And he let me take her out, and I just went around the block and dropped her off to my friend and says, her dad said, have her home by midnight, and if you don't, I'm going to get in trouble. So that's hilarious. That was a really interesting guy. He ended up after graduation, like in 1975, going to Russia and visiting Russia. He stayed in Russia for several weeks, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I never knew anybody that went to Russia at that time. So he came back and told me all the conversations he had with people that he had met. It was absolutely fascinating. So, yeah. I don't know. So am I a bad person? I don't know. Am I a bad person for lying to the fathers about letting them? I didn't actually lie. I let them draw a conclusion that was inaccurate, but I didn't correct it, that I was Jewish and that I was going to take his daughter out and be responsible for her, which I wasn't. And I don't know. What can I say? But I've had some pretty hairy experiences. And sometimes I tell them to Phoenix because I want her to know about life. Because one day, somewhere we saw a pair of shoes in the road. That guy just turned left in a scooter. And he cut on the left side of the road, leaned the bike over, went like that, right into the oncoming lane. And it's blind. There's a car. Let me show you. There's a car parked right there. See that car? Yeah. Hang on, what I want to do is this. See that car right there? Yeah, that car blocks your view of the oncoming traffic. And that rocket scientists just bolted around that corner, right in that lane. And it's actually kind of disgusting because anything can happen. And like right now, okay, I just saw the guy just now, literally, there's scooters coming up. I saw them just now. If they were at speed, you wouldn't have time to do anything except, you wouldn't even get the word out. Oh, that would be the end of it. People do that all the time. I've seen them with the blinking red light on this side, just cruise through there, full speed. Cars could be coming the other direction, and they don't care. They don't care. So, anyway, Kenrod, nice to see you, bro. Thanks. Take care. And let us know how things are going. I'm not poking into your business, but you did publicly acknowledge in one of your videos that you've been dating a lady, so that's cool. And let us know sometime how how that's going out, how that's working out. I've been saying how that's going. Yeah, let us know how it's working out, and yeah, cool. Fist bump. Talk to you later, and have a great day at work, man. Always a pleasure. Thank you. I'm going to do something that I don't usually do, and that is I'm going to try to get in bed early tonight. I'm actually on earlier than I normally would be, because although I have been feeling a lot better, my palpitations are almost completely gone. Just certain situations come up, I can always minimize them. But it's not just that, it's that I have been severely sleep deprived, and today I had some really bad bags around my eyes. They were dark circles. They looked terrible. And I'm trying to reverse that. I know my circadian rhythm has been destroyed. It's all over the place, because I've been doing all my life I've been broadcast engineer, building radio stations at night, doing recordings at night and stuff, plus working jobs during the day. And I used to split sleep. I'd sleep 4 hours at a time in 2 shifts, that kind of stuff. But let me go ahead and say good evening and good night to everyone. And thank you so much for joining. I want to thank those who have recently decided that they would follow me. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some other content soon, just besides the talk show kind of stuff that I've been doing for all these years, which I very much enjoy doing, but I don't always have time to do it. I have a lot of studio stuff going on, and I do want to do a studio build out. I'm still going to do that. It's just, I've been forced to take a little bit of a different approach. So, yeah. Hey, sounds good, Coco. And I know you're going to have an amazing breakfast, and you should post a couple pictures for us. But seriously, contact me so I can send you an invite, okay, to the line group. Because as you know, I can't afford to have it public anymore. Because those nut cases go, and those nut jobs come in, and they start every woman they see, and 2 of my sisters, both my sisters are in that group, and all the women that I know, and so they start bothering the women. I can't have that, so I had to make it private. So, but please send me a message. I can send you a link. I'd love to have you back, and you've always contributed some amazing things. So I'm going to switch apps. I'm going to go back to the DJI Mimo app. It's going to reconnect, and then I'm going to actually I could probably just stop the camera, but yeah. The proper way to stop the stream is to actually go to the Google Chrome here and to turn it off this way. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. I actually have the nice graph here of the concurrent viewers. Has been pretty nice. Guys, take care. And what I'm going to do is you're going to see me. I'm going to press the button because the phone's right beside it. So have a good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. All over the world, thank you so much. We're going to say Ganshani, thank you so much. And we'll say Huan An from Taiwan, which means good night. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. We're signing off. Bye-bye. Thank you. End stream? Yes. The stream ends now.